Hi, I'm Monique from Flourish Yoga, and these are some poses that will help to prepare you for Firefly Pose, a beautiful, strong arm balance. So we're going to begin in wide child's pose, so your big toes together, your knees about the width of your mat. You can pop a block underneath your buttocks if they can't quite reach your heels. You can also pop one under your forehead. And we're just going to slow down. And I want you to start to notice your breath here. So not changing anything, just noticing. Are you breathing shallow? Are you breathing quickly? Slowly? Then I want you to start to inhale through your nose, rising all the way up to your chest. And then exhale through your nose with a slight squeeze of your lower belly. Continue this cycle of breath at your own pace, trying to match your exhales with your inhales. And just beginning to ignore the distractions around you, ignoring the chatter in your mind, and just focusing on your breath and being present in this moment on your mat. Today this flow is quite a strong flow, so just enjoying these last few moments of a beautiful, peaceful pause before we start to work our bodies and really find out what they're capable of. Just remembering to always listen to your body throughout this flow. Okay, so coming up onto your hands and knees for tabletop pose. So your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, your hands are shoulder width apart, and your knees are hip width apart. We're going to warm up our spine with cat-cow flow. So inhale, looking up, dropping your belly down. Exhale, rounding, tucking your navel to your spine. So inhale, looking up and opening your chest. Exhale, pushing out of your shoulders and navel to spine. Inhale, so moving with your breath. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Coming back to a neutral spine. So we're just going to warm up our wrists. So slowly kind of rocking your buttocks back. Not all the way down to your heels, but just rocking back and forwards, bringing some movement into our wrists. Then turning your fingers out to the sides and rocking side to side. Remembering to engage your core here, not just letting it drop. Then turn your fingers towards each other, again rocking side to side. And then turning your fingers towards your body and back and forth. It's always important to warm up our wrists with any arm balances, as our hands are not used to bearing a lot of weight. So then linking your fingers together and just kind of moving your hands in a wave motion. So up and down. It gets a little bit tricky, then you can swap direction. Just bringing some movement into them. Then you're going to take your right thumb and index finger around your left wrist and start to circle your left hand. You might like to change the direction. Then you're going to swap, so taking your left thumb and index finger around your right wrist, circling that right hand round and round, swapping direction. Then we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. You're going to push your fingers into the mat and lifting the base of your palm off the mat from where your fingers join your palms, so kind of your finger knuckles. So you're lifting up and down, and this pose really helps to strengthen your wrists and your forearms. It's a bit of a workout. So just doing as many repetitions as you can, then shaking it out. Whew, bet you're feeling a little bit of a burn. Okay, then planting your hands, you're going to curl your toes and pushing up to downward facing dog. So just taking a moment to check your alignment. Feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, shoulders drawing down towards your hips, but still broadening. Then you're taking your right hand for a twist to your left ankle. So breathing here, still pushing down into the right foot, and then coming back out of it to downward facing dog. Taking a twist on the other side, so left hand to right ankle, pushing through those feet evenly and the right hand. Don't forget to breathe. And then slowly releasing. Okay. Then from here, lifting the right leg up, opening your hip for a bit of a hip stretch. You might like to circle it around, warming up your hip. Again, pushing evenly through your hands and your left leg. Then tucking it in towards your chest and planting between your hands for a low lunge. Checking that your knee is over your ankle. And then we're going to inhale our arms up. And we're going to clasp hold of our elbows for a bit of a heart opener too. So make sure that you're knitting your ribs in. Core is on. Relaxing those shoulders. Then slowly letting go. Bringing your right hand inside. You might need to edge over your right foot a little bit. Curling those back toes, lifting the back knee off. You might like to rock forwards and back for runner's lunge. And then if you want, you can lower down onto your forearms for a bit of a deeper stretch. And breathing here. You can pop a block under there if you want. Then taking your right hand, grabbing your right ankle and kind of sliding that arm and shoulder underneath that right leg. Reaching out the left hand to the other side. So this is kind of getting the motion of your shoulders under your leg like it will be for Firefly Pose. Then turning your front toes to match your back, coming into wide leg fold. You might like to sway from side to side here, or you can just hang. You can have a slight bend in your knees here, just doing what's best for your body. Taking a moment to just picture all of your worries falling off out of your mind. Nod your head, yes. A little shake, no. If you want, your hands can hold your ankles. Then turning towards the back of your mat, we're going to repeat that. So lowering your right knee down, checking that your left knee is over your ankle, inhaling your arms up, taking hold of your elbows for our heart opener, checking that your ribs are knitting in, core on, and just breathing here. We really need to take time to open up our hip flexors and groins for Firefly Pose. Then taking your left hand towards the inside, edging that left foot over a little bit, lifting the back knee. You might like to rock a bit, back and forth, bring some movement in. And again, you can lower down to your elbows. If this is a bit tricky, you can pop a block underneath your forearms to make it a bit easier. And just breathing here. So inhale, we're going to lengthen our spine, and then on your exhale you can lower down. Taking your left hand around that ankle, bringing your shoulder under your thigh a little bit, then reaching the arm out around the back of that calf. warming up our shoulders into the motion that we will be doing soon. Then turn those front toes to the side to match the back for a wide-legged fold again. Again, you may like to sway side to side. Just doing whatever feels best for your body. You might like to shake your head, yes. Nice and gently shake it, no. Just letting your head hang. Folds are a beautiful reminder to just let go. Then turning back to the top of your mat. Planting your hands, stepping that front foot back, coming to plank. Then lowering your knees, chest, chin. Inhale up for cobra or upward facing dog. And then pushing back to downward facing dog. Let's repeat that on the other side. So inhale, lift that left leg up, bending it, opening up your hips. And circling that knee round and round, bringing movement in to the hip on the other side. And then we're going to tuck it into our chest. Plant between our hands, lowering the right knee down, checking that our left knee is over the left ankle. Then when you're ready, inhale those arms up, taking a hold of your elbows, relaxing the shoulders down, drawing the ribs in, navel to spine. If this pose is a bit intense on your hip flexors, you can pull your hips back a little bit. And you don't even have to do it with the arms. You can choose how you would like to have them. Then taking your left hand to the inside of that left leg, lifting that back knee off, rocking back and forth a little bit. Again, if it feels good, you can come down to your forearms. Breathing here, as this can be quite an intense stretch. And then again, your left hand's going to take hold of that left ankle, edging the shoulder and arm underneath that left thigh. Right arm extends out. And breathing here. Then releasing, turning those front toes to match the back toes for a wide-legged fold. Again, you can bring some movement in here, swaying side to side. Or if you need, you can have a little bend in your knees, just making sure that your toes are slightly turned in. And taking this moment to just notice how your breath is. Then turning towards the back of your mat, bring the left knee down, checking that your right knee is over the right ankle. Once you're ready, inhale those arms up, relax the shoulders, take hold of the elbows, and just open your heart up to the sky. Remember to breathe. There should always be some challenge, but never any pain, so pull your hips back if it's a bit too strong. Then lowering your hands down, lifting that back knee, right hand comes inside, and bringing some movement back into this runner's pose, rocking back and forth. Then lowering down onto your forearms. You should be starting to feel nice and warm, warming up your hips and your legs. Then taking that right hand towards the ankle, edge that shoulder underneath and extend it out underneath your right thigh. Extend the left hand out as well. Then slowly turning your toes to match your back toes. For the wide-legged fold, rocking side to side. Making sure your spine's nice and long. You might like to inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Again, nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. And then turning towards the top of your mat, stepping that front foot back to plank. Then we're going to lower to our knees, chin, chest, or you can go to chaturanga or yogi push-up. Inhale up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pushing back to downward facing dog. Then from here, bend your knees, look to your hands, step or jump up. Sweep your hands behind you. Inhale up for chair pose. So you should still be able to see your toes. Your knees shouldn't be blocking the view of them. Spine's nice and long, ribs drawing in, navel to spine. You can bring your hands to your heart in prayer pose. Breathing here. I'm sure you can feel lots of energy. Then we're going to lower all the way down to be sitting on our buttocks. We're going to come to boat pose. So take your hands behind your knees. You can stay on your toes, tapping the ground, or you can bring them up halfway. Remember to have your spine nice and long. Core is on. Open your chest if you would like. You can extend your legs up for full boat pose. But again, just taking the modification that is best for your body. Breathing here. I'm sure that you can feel it in your core. Then tapping one toe down, then the next. Tapping. Opening your heart. Doing a little core workout here because in Firefly Pose, we really use our core to kind of draw our body up and rounding. So we're going to turn it on. Then slowly lowering our body all the way down. Feel the release. Then bringing your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze and a hug. Take your hands behind your knees and we're going to rock ourselves up. It's a fun way to get up. So rocking back and forth until you have enough momentum to rock all the way up into yogi squat. Once you're up, you can be on your toes, on the balls of your feet, or you can be on the flat of your foot. And again, you can pop a block underneath your buttock just for a little bit of support. We want to make sure that our spine is nice and long here. Bringing your hands to your heart in prayer pose, using your elbows to push your inner knees out. And just breathing here. Okay. Then coming to sitting on your heels. We're going to work our core again and also our shoulders and arms in Lolasana. So planting your hands beside your knees and lifting them up, pushing out of your shoulders, rounding your spine. If it's part of your practice, you can lift those feet off the ground. Otherwise, you can just leave them tapping the ground like I am. So you can lower your knees down, then curl back up. Lower down, then back up. Or if you can hold it with your feet off, do whatever is part of your practice and best for you. Whew. I'm sure that you felt that. Stretching your arms up. Have a beautiful stretch. Stretch out your tummy muscles. Release your shoulders. Wriggle them a bit. Now we're coming into our Firefly Pose. So taking your feet a bit more than hip width apart, just bending them and wriggling side to side, just bring some movement into them. Okay, so now we are going to work our shoulders behind our knees. So use your hands to kind of wiggle down. Your inner thighs are squeezing in, then edging your feet in a little bit more, so about hip width apart. Use your hands to grab you at the backs of your feet. And then lowering your hands behind you, slowly lower your hips down. When you're feeling stable, then straighten your legs. Your core is on. You're pushing down. Squeeze those inner thighs. Whew. And then you can relax. You might like to try that a few times. It is a quite intense pose. But if you're just going to leave it at one time, then coming down onto the ground with me. I'm coming into a reclined butterfly pose. And I'm just going to take this time to relax my body. After working it, you should feel proud for taking time for yourself and to strengthen your body and to also have fun. Balances is such a beautiful way to have fun and to see what you're capable of. Then when you're finished, rolling onto your side and just pausing there. And breathing. And then slowly making your way up to a seated position. Then we're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, bring them to our mind for purity of thought, to our lips for clarity of speech, to our heart for kindness of heart. Thank you so much for flowing with me today.